Mesanso mo bi akwa basho pasa burial the new TV studio. Sisi the ambulance saga keeps on unfolding just in some no bad neighbor, okay? And sisi ano, make sure to subscribe to the new TV or like over comment your comment section. You also be click on the notification button for more news update. Alright. And you know the situation is we all know that the case is very trending and trendy na each and every single blessed day. So in some ahodoa and about some fee about the main man Dr. Cheif Justice about the accusers Richard Japa to say in some I am one yesterday before we need, so it's in a message to subscribe to the new TV because any day, anytime we post on, and I say we post about this particular case, to force ambulance saga. So, Sisia, one of the law professors, Bababonte. Now Babonte no one basa keke say me ba me so me de me ho beji asem we na me so ma trend no. Say or more we deal with the law no sometimes it click it very well. So about Bontino, he was like, okay, this time around, no, I know the law. Okay, I know what to do about this particular case, and or more sometimes they know where to find their evidences and whatever they need for a particular case. And this law professor about Bontino. What like this professor didn't just came out. Bontino, he's read plenty secrets, and I mean many, much more secrets. So at forcing together with the NDC party now, the members are almost supporting at forcing, especially Asemaba I, the communication director for the NDC party was supporting ye paying in say anytime on back for trials. Asemaba I Edinachi echo or also support your brotherhood whatever. And Sisiano, this law professor now make us about or the a whole lot of another level of secrets together with law adding up or the mra as a tattoo to the case way is getting interesting. Finally, we can say Ghana, our law is working, our law is as they say nobody is about the law. The law is equal. We are all equal when it comes to the law. So I'm very glad I said the law is dealing with a out of force because that's Sika 2.37 years. Charlie, it's plenty. Coming home, but before that, make sure to subscribe to the new TV or like over comment your comment section. User over click on the notification button for more news updates. MRFE so we so abesha microphone to be in your echo so your mind Ghana must share you could see Marcia. Peace out.
In these cases, our court one Richard Japa case at forcing. Omumi no omo lawyers eruji tamakru ne tade sorry omo ho be kire omo court yi pa empese e be sen ho no me nko tie astute professor yi ni nkire mu a ode aba concerning this issue.
Generis, the lawyers say sui generis, he is in a world of his own, so you don't extend the totality of the inhibitions on private legal practice and private practitioners to the Attorney General. I tell you, his role is such that he is like in between. He is a midfield. It is not just about him getting people thrown into jail. He is a minister of justice. He sees to my interest. He sees to your interest. There have been occasions when I have gone to the Attorney General on matters relating to business I was working on and sought his assistance to guide in shaping an opinion so that we can protect the interests of the state and protect the interests of the business. I'm not the only person who has gone to him for help. Everybody goes there when they need his help. I had the privilege of teaching the Attorney General. Had the privilege of teaching one of his deputies. I've had the privilege of teaching lots of other people in government. But the Attorney General, his doors should be open to persons of different political persuasions. And this particular situation that you have been talking about, this recording and so on, if not because the Attorney General's doors were open, would this conversation have happened? If the Attorney General decided that he wouldn't talk to anybody because he's the Attorney General. Now, after this, they are going to cause the Attorney General to be very inward looking, because who do you trust? Who do you trust? The Attorney General is a Minister of Justice. I am yet to see, unless I have heard that more tapes are coming, but unless maybe there are more tapes I have not seen, but the tapes I have seen and the enquiries I have made, I see no overstepping of bounds. In some cases, I rather see an Attorney General who was actually probably becoming too much of a justice person, to the extent that an accused person who has been granted bail, who could not satisfy his bail conditions, could file an appeal to a Supreme Court judge, make an appeal to a Supreme Court judge to beg on his behalf, and the Attorney General intervenes and says, let him go home. He's a Ghanaian, so that the next day he can come back and complete the bail conditions. Hey, this Attorney General, you are saying he is what? He doesn't believe in justice. An Attorney General who is prosecuting a person, the second accused, who has a medical condition requiring attention. The Attorney General exercises his powers under Section 58 of Act 30 and enters a non prosecution and says, because of your health, go home. Don't come to court anymore. You are saying he's a bad man. Oh, please, what kind of country is this? I was even thinking that he was doing too much of the justice part than the Attorney General part. We were in this country when the election petition after 2012 was telecast live, not so.
Yes, we were.
Please, Ghanaians got to learn about how legal proceedings are conducted. And in fact, this has gingered so many people to want to be lawyers. There was another recent one, another live telecast. I've seen all kinds of cases being live telecast. So if the judge and the CJ are amenable, I mean, it brings the case into our living rooms. It's good for the democracy. And law students will also be watching how lawyers conduct cases, how judges conduct cases. It's all education. And it also brings transparency to the system. Why not? But it comes at a cost. I don't know how the cost should be paid and who will pay the cost. But live telecasts come with costs. It is TV airtime. And you know it is not cheap. Look, there is a rule of the thumb. When you are commenting on live cases, particularly for members of our profession, look, the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, as the lawyers would agree, is the leader of the bar. I am probably twice his senior at the bar. And I said, I taught the Attorney General in Lagos. But he is my leader when it comes to questions about the bar. When the Attorney General is in court, he gets precedence over all the lawyers. In fact, if he meets Samoku Jeto in court, the Attorney General's case will be called before Samoku Jeto's case is called. Because he is the leader of the bar. I entreat my colleagues to be circumspect with how they say things about that office. It is not for nothing that general is part of that office. All of us are attorneys, but he is the Attorney General. So there is something, the generalship has to be respected. The generalship. And for the bench, if you make a comment and you step the bounds, the judges in this country, there is no statute which has set out how you should be punished for contempt. It is the discretion of the judge. So those who are talking plenty, they should always have it at the back of their minds that if you cross the line, the judiciary, they will deal with you. And what people should understand also is this. The Attorney General has what we call prosecutorial discretion. To decide to prosecute or not to prosecute is a decision of the Attorney General. So he wields a lot of influence. And in the course of delivering his mandate, all manner of people go and talk to him. I have talked to him severally. Others have. Lawyers, judges, everybody go to him. So I beg all of us, when we get any opportunity to talk to the Attorney General about cases, we should not record the Attorney General. So as to force the Attorney General to go into hibernation. Otherwise, very soon, it will be hard for people to get access to him. So far as what I have seen and what I know is concerned, I don't think the calls for his dismissal or resignation are justified.
Right.
I heard people saying if what they have heard is true, he should be dismissed. But I'm saying that it should not be about if. The conjecture, if, it shouldn't come in. If, should not come in. So I don't think so. And honestly, if you look at the conversation that has been recorded and the questioning during the cross-examination, I don't see where the prejudice is. But, you know, the lawyers know how they are conducting their case. It is up to a judge to determine whether the case has been so prejudiced as to call for either a fresh trial, a trial de novo, or whatever remedy a judge might prescribe. But I don't think we are there yet. I've heard that more bombshells are coming. Maybe when those bombshells come, we shall come back again to interrogate them.
And this petition for the case to be dropped.
Based on what I know, I don't think we are there yet. I don't think so. It's a lawyer's strategy. And
to elaborate further whether there are legal distinctions between recording a private citizen and recording a public official, as has happened.
Honestly, our laws from the constitutional framework through statute and case law, our laws have not distinguished between how you treat conversation with a public official and how you treat conversation with a private individual. Now, let me sound a caveat here. When it comes to the law on libel and slander, generally the law on defamation, the courts expect public officers to have thicker skins. In other words, if you're a public officer and I say something defamatory, so to speak, about you, the court would expect that the level of the standard which is required to satisfy proof of defamation when the allegation is about a public figure is different from when it is about a normal citizen. Because the court says that once you have come into the public arena, you must be prepared to take some heat. Because if you come to the market, you are going to be treated like any player on the market. You know, so that's one slight distinction. But when it comes to recording without consent, our laws do not draw a line between when you record a private citizen versus when you record a public official. The standard as the law is now is the same.
The laws are indeed available, and since they are an enforcement on that, on the flip side, will also come into the limelight. And I will want to find out from you, Professor Jan, that what could be the potential legal consequences for individuals who make use of secret recordings without consent, as again has happened presently?
The interesting thing is that Article 18, which provides your right to privacy, and Article 21, Clause 1, A and B, are not penal provisions. So the constitutional provisions don't have penalties attached. But the statutory provisions